When I talk about the vegan movement being a failure, a lot of people think I'm speaking in some sort of abstract philosophical sense, or that I'm being a bit sentimental, a bit maudlin, or a bit self-indulgent. The purpose of this video is to show you really briefly that no, I mean this in the most literal, direct sense possible. The movement is a failure, the movement is a disaster, and we have some methods in the social sciences to measure that, to demonstrate that, to prove that on a purely factual basis. This is a database of basically every non-profit organization registered in Canada. If you search for the word feminist in this database, look what you get. Oh, okay, only 3 results. So only 3 organizations that have the word feminist in their name in all of Canada. However, if I search for the word women's, oh, wow, okay, 593 results. So this reflects the extent to which, in 2019, feminism is a major ongoing political movement. So, you can, even if you just glance at these first few entries, an act to end violence against women, associations for women's rights, there are 593. There are definitely more than 593 feminist organizations in Canada, but this gives you a snapshot. This gives you an imperfect cross-section of just how real the level of organization, agitation, people getting together and pressing for political changes. Now, we have to calibrate this. What if we put the word Jesus into the database and search for that? Oh, 401 organizations or charities with Jesus in the name. The Christians are still a big force for social change in our society. I regard that negatively, but that is the reality. So you might ask a hypothetical question. How many vegan organizations are there? How much pressure is there? How much impetus does the vegan movement have compared to the feminist movement or compared to Christianity? Right? That would be an interesting way to calibrate the question. And of course, I have a prejudiced audience, but which do you think is really a more pressing social, political question in our times right now? Do you think there's like a short-term reason why right now, this year, people have got to be motivated to get the message out about Jesus, or people are motivated to get the message out about feminism to say, wow, right now we have to get this out, compared to the kind of urgency we have in veganism, the urgency we have to get across the message about ethics, the message about human health, the message about ecology? And yeah, to some extent, every day animals are dying, and that sense of wanting to save animal lives also gives us a sense of urgency. I think we have a much greater sense of urgency that every passing day matters, every passing year matters. Now. We need to save the environment now. We need to stop people from having heart attacks and getting cancer now. So on and so forth. I think we have a greater sense of urgency than either feminism or Christianity, although those are certainly long-term, well-established political movements. But, of course, if you just search for the word Jesus, you're only getting a small number of the Christian organizations. What if you put in the word Christian? 2,357. And now, of course, if you really wanted to get a compendious list of all of the Christian organizations in Canada, you'd have to search for a word like Pentecostal. You'd have to do a little bit more work and try to search every possible term and cross-reference all the lists, eliminate duplicate entries, and then come to a conclusion about just how many Christian organizations there are in Canada. Obviously, there are thousands. And in this, by the same token, the total number of feminist organizations will be bigger because some of them will be using other acronyms or other indirect ways of indicating that they're feminist. Okay, Canada does not have a very large Arab population. Canada also does not have a very large tradition of Arabic language education or Arabic studies at universities. A little bit, but Canada, we're not really a world leader in these things. How many organizations do you think there are with Arab in the name, which again could be linked to the teaching of the language, could be linked to the politics of the Arabic world, could be linked to Arab Canadians as an ethnic minority? Oh, 42 matches. So number of Arab people in Canada, the level of interest in this, very limited. 42. Do you think vegans have more organizations than that in Canada? You think we're going to have more than 42 results? That's pretty humble. Oh, how about Ojibwe? Ojibwe. Now, I did actually do a more thorough search for this. Ojibwe is spelled more than one way. Anishinaabe is spelled more than one way. You do have to search a few different ways. The Ojibwe are a very small minority within Canada. Oh, but still, four organizations. Okay, so let's get to the punchline here, people. When you search this database for the word vegan, what do you get? 0. There are 0 registered organizations with the word vegan anywhere in their name, description, mandate. You get 1 false result here for the Fort Dunvegan Historical Society, which is just a coincidence because that happens to be how the name of it is spelled. 0. Vegans have come on the internet, made a lot of noise. You're on YouTube. Vegans have protested in front of slaughterhouses and made a lot of noise on the streets. Vegans have opened restaurants and they've started marketing, different types of products like hamburgers, plastic wrap, protein drinks. But as a movement, as a political movement, we have failed. And the next steps we need to take towards real political progress will start with a recognition of the depth and magnitude of that failure.